there.
Hello, I can see you and the audience can see you.
That's the weird thing. I'm like, I can always see you, but now I'm like,
I know.
everyone's watching. I don't know how to sit.
We do look particularly different to how we usually do podcasts because usually, I mean, I'm definitely usually in my pajamas when we do this. And
Uh, Usually we look like dog poop.
I
So,
was like,
you know,
and I'm not a morning person. So we are recording this at 20 past 10 in the morning, which I know isn't really early, but we're performers. We perform at night,
yeah.
not in the day.
Yeah, I got home from rehearsals at like midnight. So, yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but this is a kind of a special bonus episode because we felt we needed to come on talk about it because it's all we are currently talking about, as well as our own
Yeah.
tour. But tickets still available. Um, we wanted to come and talk about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. So yeah.
Silence.
It's
Oh,
a
oh, this
whole
is
can of worms.
yeah, we were just saying before we went live, like it is a can of worms to the point where I was like, we need to stop talking because we always end up discussing it between us. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
press record because
Press
we need to do
record.
this all online. But man,
Yeah.
I mean, so they're at a point of taking a break now. We were just saying.
Yes.
So yesterday was the last day. Um, and now they're off for, oh, is it a week? Did
A
you
week.
say?
Yeah. They start
Okay.
back up on the 16th of May.
I mean, where do you want to start? Where do we start?
I mean, okay, so I am a bit like behind it because I mean, you guys were talking about it on our podcast chat for a bit, and I was like, I'm kind of keeping up with the headlines. I'm not really indulging because I ain't got time.
Hmm.
And then obviously we spoke about how important it is to speak about. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it backwards.
Yeah.
So really weirdly, and I did this kind of on purpose, I watched Amber's testimony first.
Yeah.
And then I've gone back and I've watched Johnny Depp's, and then I've watched the witnesses, and now obviously I'm watching like as it's going. And I kind of did this because something I was really fascinated about was all over my own personal social media. It's very hashtag I stand with Johnny, hashtag Amber Heard is a psychopath, blah 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 blah. And I was a little bit uncomfortable with the attacking of Amber Heard, even though I didn't
Yeah.
know anything about it. And in all disclosure, I read the headlines and I judged Amber, and I kind of was the person that we are hoping to get rid of the people who do this, like to change their opinions. I did the whole, oh God, she did that. Oh my God, wow, what? And felt for Johnny, instantly was won over by social media and was on side with Johnny Depp, especially as Johnny Depp has been a massive part of my childhood, like all his films.
I'm not gonna lie, before this went to court and it was a thing, I was the same. I was like, oh my
Mm,
God, she lied. She did this, she
yeah,
did that. He's lost all this
100%.
money, he's lost his job, he's lost, his
Yeah,
reputation. Um, and unfortunately, like you said, I'm not ashamed to admit that because I thought the same. I was
yeah.
like,
But it just shows what the media has the power of doing because obviously I'm jumping the gun here, but even like my mum, who isn't following the court trial, shared the Talented Mr. Ripley thing where they're like, Amber Heard ripped a monologue from Talented Mr. Ripley. She didn't. That is fake news. That has been debunked. It's fake. She says something quite similar, but
hmm.
it's also very similar to Rihanna's Only Girl in the World song. So
Oh, and do you know what's weird? As soon as you said that, then I knew which bit you meant.
yeah. And
She's talking about when they first met.
yeah, and saying like he made me feel like the sun shined on me and I was the only girl. And I was
Yeah.
like, so when everyone was like saying about telling the Mr. Ripley thing, it's lies. That is media lying. And yet my mum shared it and was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I was like, it's fake. But if people are just reading headlines and seeing social media posts, you are on side with
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I said to you in our podcast WhatsApp is then I went on our Take Back the Beat Twitter. And obviously we are mainly following survivors or organizations that are dealing with survivors or
Mhm.
those kind of people. And every tweet was I stand with Amber Heard. And I was like, this is strange. Is it just because we are as survivors terrified of not being believed? So
Or terrified of because we of not believing a survivor.
Exactly.
A survivor, I'm saying, because
Yeah, we don't know.
we don't know.
No. So that's kind of why I wanted to watch Amber's first, because I wanted to go in completely kind of unbiased, because I knew if I went in with Johnny's, I'm going to be lapping up the press and whatever they said, because part of my brain wants to be on his side.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a horrible thing to admit, and I really hate to say this because I might get cancelled saying this, but I said to my boyfriend, I was like, I want, like, if the roles were reversed, if Johnny Depp was a woman and Amber Heard was a boy, or the other way around, like not even gender specific, but like if it was Johnny and split them around,
Yeah, yeah,
I'd 100% be like going, yeah, Johnny Depp, poor guy, poor like, because I, it's so hard as survivors of domestic abuse. We don't want people to be lying about it, because then it kind of makes anyone who is a survivor scared to come forward, because they could be prosecuted and go through
yeah,
the thing. Like, we were terrified of our episodes coming out because we were scared people would shame us or not believe us. So then for watching this court case unravel, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, please don't be lying.
yeah.
Please don't. It's so fucked
The
up.
thing is, though, like I said to you, like I don't know. Obviously, people have watched her, and she's had a lot of shit for her. And
Oh my god,
I'm
yeah.
quoting performance because it was like it was like a monologue. It was like
Oh, it
it's so
was, yeah.
difficult because like they live in a different place to us. They live in a whole different world to what
Yeah.
we do because they're famous actors
Yeah.
and their perception of things I think is very different. They're filled in a
Absolutely.
they're surrounded by people who blow smoke up their ass every day.
They
I'm sorry, but they
do.
are.
I mean, I
So
wish I had that, but yeah.
yeah, but can you imagine what I'd be like and what you'd be like? I'd be like, do you know what I mean? It's a whole performance.
Their
But
life is a performance. They're
yeah,
used
their
to
life
that.
is a performance. So
Yeah.
I have to take that into consideration. But at the same time, take all that away and break down to like general, like being traumatized and these horrific things
Yeah.
happening. It doesn't matter how long ago it happened. You start talking about stuff like that, and I don't know. I don't not believe her because of
Yeah.
how she was performing on in the stand, but
Yeah.
there's some things, and I was like, stop it. You're not helping yourself. If
Yeah.
this is
It was,
real, just tell
yeah.
the fuck like. And this sounds horrible, and I'm gonna get cancelled. But I was like, get to the fucking point. Get to the
Yeah.
bit that's gonna. If this is serious and you want to put an abuser away
Yeah.
or whatever, get to the point because everything else you say around it is just skimming around the fact.
Yeah. It's
And
just adding drama.
it's added. There's no
Yeah.
need. There's no need. I understand that. You know, I have little things that when things were happening to me that I remember specifics of like
Yeah.
what color the floor was or what I was looking at.
Yeah.
But I don't. I understand that they've probably been told to say things like that, but she went to the point of saying like the phone was being smashed into a million pieces, and I could just see it breaking and breaking, and it was disintegrating, and there were just these pieces of the phone. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm
I
so
get it.
sorry. Like, what
Yeah.
happened next? What's this horrible thing that happened next? And I sound like an
Yeah.
absolute arsehole now, and I'm gonna get
No,
cancelled. But
you're not.
I
It's
just,
what you're saying is it's stick to the facts. Stick to the
yeah,
bits that are going. If this is true, if what happened, which is disgusting, and to any survivors out there of rape,
hmm,
I imagine that was really triggering. Like, I even messaged you and I said, I'm struggling to watch this.
yeah,
Like, it's the subject matter. But at the same time, I kept feeling like I was watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy or something.
yeah.
Like, I kept having to go, this, she is saying this actually happened. This, she suffered this. And I
It was her
couldn't.
emotions and her
Yeah.
eyes. Like she kept like doing the emotions, like, and then
Yeah.
she'd like check if they were looking, like check if the
Mm.
jury were looking, and then
Oh my
she'd be
God.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
And it was
bitch,
the, have you
stop! You're an
seen the,
actress.
that's the thing, like you're saying, you're not helping yourself. And we even said it was when she kept describing the glass.
Mm,
And for those who haven't watched this bit, basically she's talking about the moment that she's claiming that Johnny Depp raped her with a bottle. And she is talking about the glass on the floor, the glass, the glass. And I was like, we get it, there was glass. And I know I'm sounding like a cold-hearted bitch, but if you want him to go down, if you want to win this case, you need to get to the point. You need to get
mm,
to what it is that is going to make him guilty. And I was like, I don't,
Yeah. It's
nah,
like she's repeating the bits that don't need to be. Going on
yeah,
the hard bits, like it's hard to listen to you know, but get
yeah,
there first and
yeah.
talk about those bits more.
And it is, there's just something, and we were saying this, it's something about her that we don't believe. Even like her body language, she's very
Yeah.
open. Like when she sat there with her lawyer, she sat open facing the court, whereas Johnny Depp is very much hunched over. He looks defeated.
Yeah.
And I've been reading so many things about it of people being like, if I was in a courtroom with my abuser, I couldn't look at them in the eye. I would be like Johnny Depp. I would be a bit, what's the word? Disconnected.
Yeah.
Like
She does
when,
look at him a lot. When she's in the
yeah,
stand, she does look at him a lot.
which maybe that's an
And he
incredible
didn't
thing.
look up once at her. I did notice that. You know, when they
Yeah,
put the side by side like this,
yeah.
he doesn't look up once.
And it's like there's two sides of that. Like, is it because he is this damaged and he is reliving it and he is struggling, or is it because she is a fucking brave woman who can look him in the eye?
Or is it because they've been told to do that? So
Who
you've got to
knows?
remember these people who
Yeah,
sit there, like, unless you've been to court, obviously, like when you sit down with your team, they'll be like, right, you need to be like this because she's very much to the jury, like,
yeah. She's open.
and she's looking at them all when they walk in,
Yeah,
smiling at them. Whereas
yeah,
he'll look at them, but he just kind of like great, like glazes
yeah,
over and has a little look. But
yeah.
they've got two different teams. Now, to
Oh,
me,
very
I
different.
think they've gone, this'll look better for you as a woman if you're like this and
Maybe.
you're open. This would look better for you to do this,
Yeah,
etc. Don't
yeah.
ever look at her because someone could snap a picture, get it online. Johnny Depp giving Amber that. And again, I'm no
Yeah.
professional, but I'm guessing that things work. There's a lot we don't know about behind the
Oh my
scenes
God, yeah.
because I
It's
don't have
so
the mental
fake.
capacity to be a lawyer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Um,
it's all games. Like
yeah,
even if you've seen that video, and this is where I keep going. Like I want to believe Amber because she's claiming these horrific things, and there's a part of me that goes, she can't be making that up. Like there's no smoke without fire. Like she can't be making this up.
yeah.
But then she does things like the video of her blowing her nose. Have you seen it? And
Mm-mm.
she stops. She literally, so she blows her nose. She looks to the side, sees a camera guy,
Oh my,
pauses,
I
a
have, and
flash
takes a
goes off.
picture.
Yeah, and then she carries on. And I go, no, no, that's not real emotion.
No,
Like,
you can't even like
no,
blame that down to like media training because I know they've been in the biz for a long time.
yeah, that's nah,
But if
no.
I'm in a courtroom talking about something that changed my life, I
I'm
ain't gonna
not
be
even
thinking about
thinking about press,
what I
media.
look like or anything like that.
It's very
The
hard.
thing is, I genuinely believe before we go any further, if people have not already clicked out because they're like, ah, fuck you guys,
Fuck you, bastards.
you don't know what you're talking about. We probably don't, but this is our opinion, basically. We're survivors.
Mm.
We have the right to talk about
Does
our
anyone
opinions.
know what they're talking
Same as
about? Let's be honest.
no, nobody does. It was
No
the
one has a
same as
clue.
when I was thinking this today, actually, just quickly. Obviously, like when COVID came and
Yeah,
the vaccines and stuff, everyone was a doctor for a couple of years. Everyone
babe.
was a fucking
Everyone's a
trained doctor.
lawyer currently,
Everyone's a
literally.
lawyer at the minute, so I'm on my
Yeah.
lawyer phase. But but it's true in it. I'll admit,
Yeah, babe, I'm with you.
everyone
Yeah.
does it.
Everyone's got an
Um,
opinion.
so obviously, like I genuinely think after watching everything, I don't know how this is going to end for a start,
No.
and I think they both are abusers. I
They
think to
both
an
need help.
extent, they both need help. I
Yeah.
think Johnny Depp obviously has had a really hard childhood. This is not me sticking up for him. And then has been on drugs for more than half of his life.
Yeah,
That
God, yeah.
is not good for your mental health. It's not good for your
No.
body. And then he also
No.
lives in a bubble of a world where he's an actor
Yeah.
and he makes a lot of money, gets what he wants. He owns islands. That's not a
But
normal
can I just
life.
say, I did love how he mentioned the island. When
Right.
did you, I don't know if you've watched this bit, mate, I'm like 24 hours deep. Um, when he says, because they talk about him doing a like cleanse, and they're like, oh, where did you do the cleanse? And he's like, we went away to somewhere I own, and they're like, "Can you describe it?" And he's like, "Oh, I hate saying it, but it's an island. I own an island." And I was a bit like, "I'm seeing your like kind of modesty there," and it was real. And I was a bit like,
Yeah.
because of course he owns an island. He's Johnny Depp. Of course he
Of
bloody
course he
does.
does.
I'd own
Yeah.
an island if I was Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But it's the way he said it, and I was a bit like, your character is coming across obviously very frustrated and obviously
Hmm.
very over this and very much like he is done with people thinking he is an abuser.
Yeah.
But little things like that, I go, I like that about you. Whereas with Amber, I'm struggling and I really want to be on her side.
There's one bit that I can honestly say where I feel like I'm listening to her,
Yeah.
and so I'm really sorry to stop, but can you hear that drilling or no? Is that an
No,
issue?
no, can't hear
Okay, sorry. It's very loud.
it. Yeah, guys, we've both
I,
got drilling
I'm
outside our
like,
windows.
I'm trying to like hook my mic. Like, no.
Very
Um,
serious subject. Stop drilling.
yeah, today of all days as well. But anyway, um, so there is one little bit. I'll have to send you the clip, but it's basically when she's talking about when they first met,
Yeah,
and because obviously they didn't get together straight away, so it was
yeah,
like the when they started doing the press tour for Rum Diaries,
yeah,
and but on the set he had a wife and she had a missus. So she was talking about the chemistry, and she was talking about little things like when you have a kissing scene in a movie, there are rules because that's what you do. And she was like, we already had this chemistry. She was like, and there's little things you're not supposed to do, like use your tongue or like grabs people's faces and da da
yeah,
da this that the other. She was like, and all that went out of the window, and he just grabbed my face and da da da, and then hit her lawyer, her representative was like, did he use tongue? And she was like, yeah. But the way, I'll send you the clip because that's the only point in the entire trial where I
yeah,
genuinely saw like actual human emotion. She wasn't animated like she has been. She wasn't
yeah,
like, she was looking at you, but she was talking and it was normal. And that's the first time that for a minute I was like, I believed every word you just said
yeah.
because you're reliving it as a genuine
A
memory.
memory.
She didn't trip over any of her words. She
Yeah,
didn't because she keeps going and I don't really and I feel like and she keeps doing that, but
yeah.
when she's reliving her meeting there and that beginning of their relationship, and she,
Factual
she
things.
she
Yeah,
talks about, and this is why I'm remembering it because it felt real listening to it. And
yeah.
she said, this on the hot days, she said like he'd send an SUV um up to where I was staying, and she said, and a guy had just let me sit in the back with the aircon on because it was so hot. She was like, and he just used to send that up. But she straight away I was like, I believe you.
Yeah,
But then it goes from her, which I thought that was her as a person, to like overacting her stories.
yeah,
And maybe she, as an actress, she's thinking, if I do this, maybe they'll believe me. But it's the complete opposite.
yeah. Or we don't know because obviously we don't know them as people. So like
Yeah.
they might just be like that. Like
Yeah.
it's such a hard thing to be judging because we don't know the ins and outs and we're not gonna know. And that's when you said you're like, I don't know how this is gonna end. And how
Yeah.
there is no way of it ending well.
No.
Either way, one of them is going to get absolutely annihilated. That's a hard word to say at 10 a.m. Um, and it's looking like it's going to be Amber, like just from the press alone.
Yeah.
Like this is branded by them, and even if whoever wins and loses, there isn't a winner here. Like
No.
what they've both been through, like there is no smoke without fire. And I am not saying that Johnny Depp is a victim here. I very much think even if he wasn't physically abusive, there are videos of him
Mhm.
being verbally abusive and the
And even
text
like
messages and all that sort of stuff. Like,
the
nah,
text messages, yeah, I'm gonna read that if you don't mind, because I'm like I said, I've seen. I told you about I was watching them arrive at court, and they're very
yes,
different.
yes,
So Johnny Depp gets Johnny, we love you. Flowers, gifts, and he's taking the time to stop on the way into court to give people hugs and to take pictures and stuff. Amber Heard is walking straight in, and there's videos of her just getting booed or nothing.
ah,
But then Johnny Depp, and I don't care, right? I can get angry We all can. We've all said things in our lives that we regret.
100%.
And there's times where, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, there's times where I'd be like, oh my God, I could kill her. Ugh, like,
Yeah.
but never in my entire life would I write that down and think about
Yeah.
the things that I could do to this person.
Yeah.
And I would be, I don't know, it's just the fact that it got sent out to the world, like it got sent out in a text message that he put, let's burn Amber. Let's drown her before we burn her. I will fuck her burnt corpse afterwards to make sure she's dead. Sorry, what? Because you thought about that.
Yeah.
You thought about it and you were like, let's burn. In fact, first, let's fucking drown her.
Well, yeah, it's because
That's
I
a
read,
lot.
yeah, I read like obviously Paul Bettany replies saying about drown the witch and see if she drowns because they're calling her a witch, and that's when Johnny Depp then says, "Let's drown her, then burn her." Da, da, da. And
Yeah,
again,
but they added, I'll fuck her
oh
dead
god, yeah,
corpse.
it's
Bitch, that's
horrific,
not
yeah.
like, no.
But again, not sticking up for him. So obviously, Aiden, he is not on social media, so he's kind of
Yeah.
really out of this loop. All he knows about the case is me going, "Oh my god, so this happened today," and oh my god, blah, blah. So we were like laying in bed last night, and obviously I was saying we're coming on this morning to do this, and I said to him about these text messages, and he would just went, "Yeah, but you can't judge someone from that." And I was like, "Well, obviously it's not. He didn't send those texts to her. They're not threatening. They're not threatening texts.
Mm.
But that was like an alien ship landing. What was that?
An alien ship. Like, I'm coming to
That's
get
what
me.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
They're like, come on, come home.
But he said so Aiden had a bit of a rough job a few years back, and we had texts back and forth of like anger and frustration. And he was like, if anyone found them, I would have lost my job because it was
Right,
anger.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, do you know what? I've done the same when I've been like, oh my God, I'm so fucking frustrated. This is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And you vent. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's venting. But and like, I hate to use this term, but they're venting between lads. And
Yeah.
like, they're very much.
I just think it's the detail. Like I said,
Oh, it's
I'm
horrific.
far from perfect. I've said some shit that if I read back now, I'd be like, Nicola.
Yeah. It's
wrong
the
person.
detail that
but
he's thought about that. But then
it's the thought about it, and then like,
yeah. But then there's
fucking
part
the dead
of me.
corpse bit for me.
Oh, that's minging. But again, we don't know him as a person. We don't know his sense of, it's not humor,
Yeah.
but we don't know his kind of language that he uses on a regular. We've even said some people would probably talk to us and be like, wow, they've got a dark sense of humor. And we're like, oh no, that's just us. And like,
yeah.
you just don't know what, say Amber Heard is lying. Say Johnny Depp is very much the victim here, and he is. I mean, you can tell he's got a drug and alcohol problem. He needs help, massively needs help.
Yeah.
What is going on through your mind? Would you say those sort of things? Probably. And it's so hard because you cannot. That obviously it's not threatening. He's not going, Paul Bettany, let's meet at this house this time to do it.
I think it's just because it's so disturbing.
It is.
And like, because of all the things that she said that he's done that are also very disturbing, they're not just like acts of like seeing red and anger. Like the way she's describing them are very, like with the bottle, it's very disturbing. Like the pictures of the blood all over the walls and like everything painted in black paint.
Oh, it's so
like that's
so weird.
It's disturbing. Like it's another level of abuse. But she has been diagnosed though, you know, with so there's a forensic psychologist that came in who was like big in the biz. Big in the biz.
I'm in the biz. I'm in the biz.
And basically she has diagnosed her with PTSD, and she said, and that, so it's like a real diagnostic. Is that the right word? Diagnosis.
Yes, but have you seen they brought the woman who dealt with Amber? She's like a psychiatrist into domestic violence and stuff. Did you watch this?
Is this the one that I'm on about? Because
maybe. And they brought her on the stand, and like Johnny Depp's lawyers just destroyed her.
Oh, really?
Like she admitted she's getting paid like $500 an hour to be there. And they were like, okay. So, and like she kept going back on what she'd said.
Is this the same? Is this the forensic psychologist?
Maybe, I can't remember now. I watched it
No, you can
yesterday.
you can all debunk me right now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, this one was quite early on that I'm on about. I think it was before Amber and Johnny took the
Potentially, because
stand.
this woman they've brought back, I can't remember
Oh, it
her
might be
name.
then.
Because like, yeah, this is literally the interview I watched last night, and like
Oh,
she's
I
a
haven't watched it yesterday. I need to catch up from
or
yesterday's.
they, I mean, Johnny Depp's lawyers just destroyed this woman. Like to the point of I was getting a bit annoyed because I was like, can you please stop speaking to her like she is a child? Because it
Mm,
was a little bit mansplaining. And then I was like, actually, if this woman is elaborating the story, I'd probably be that
yeah.
frustrated. So yeah, probably. But
Yeah.
it's just so weird. And we spoke about obviously the video evidence. Firstly, at what point in your relationship do you start videoing each other and recording each other?
The amount of
Sure.
footage that they have of each other and like
Oh,
voice notes and
terrifying.
stuff of each other is unhealthy.
Surely that says to you that why are you videoing this? You're
Yeah.
videoing this.
And they're both doing it. They're both doing it.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. It's not just
It's not
one.
okay.
Also, Johnny, did you see Johnny Depp being cross-examined yesterday?
No, I haven't seen this yet.
He's at his breaking point. I
Oh no,
was
I watched bits of it. I did watch bits of it. Yes. Yeah.
I was nearly late for my rehearsals because I had that bit on in the background. So I'm up to date till probably like yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, but I was watching it and I was waiting for him to snap. Like I was on
Yeah.
pins because I'm like, this guy's gonna fucking go
He is at
because
the point, isn't he?
he was like talking over him at one point and he was like,
Yeah.
he said something to him and he was like, sorry, what? And I was like, oh,
It's
like that's.
yeah, but
And then
Eva,
he said,
that
I
is
don't feel like I'm wasting anybody's time.
oh yeah, that's the bit I saw and I was like, ah, okay. But
And
it's
then the guy brought up the fact that he's being sued at the minute
yeah,
for allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, because there are
allegedly.
other things online that say otherwise, but he's being sued at the minute for attacking a crew member on, is it City of Lies in 2018?
Sure. I don't know.
And apparently two of his bodyguards have like tried to sue him in the past for but then it's like you've got a celebrity on that platform, but it seems to all be about violence. Like there is no
Yeah.
smoke without fire.
But it's so weird because every other like testimony from like witnesses and stuff, even Kate Moss, she put a tweet out years ago. So this is pre this case, being like, she's quoted to say something along the lines of like, Johnny Depp is the most kind-hearted man, like the amount of tears I cried getting over that man. And you're like, well, Amber Heard is suggesting that he threw you down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
So also, did you see Johnny Depp's
Yeah,
lawyer
but
react
some
to
people
that?
protect I protected, oh my God, I nearly said his name.
Yeah, I get the whole like you are protecting your abuser, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying my hardest to try and believe Amber, but
Hmm.
everything I'm reading, everything, and that is social media and that is media, but even people who have met Johnny, who have worked with Johnny, like obviously yesterday, I don't think it's yesterday, but yesterday I watched the video of it was a wife of someone who worked with him came on and she had been on holiday with them and she knew Amber and she was very much like she was like, yes, I've seen Johnny drunk and I've seen him on drugs. He's never violent ever. I've never seen this. And then someone else who came on who was his bodyguard for years was saying that he'd never witnessed Johnny be violent, but Amber he'd witnessed all the things she used to say to him, all the abuse she used to throw at him, and she was actually abusive to him. And I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like this is
Okay,
so
I'm not sticking up
toxic.
for. See, this is what's gonna happen because now I'm not sticking up for Amber either.
Yeah.
But I must admit, the reason why it took me so long to say anything was because I genuinely, the person that he portrayed in front of people
Everyone loved.
scared me to death because I was like,
Yeah.
who is that person? And
Yeah.
I would make lies up about what had happened to me because I
Yeah.
genuinely was like, no one will believe me.
I get that.
Because when he's on drugs or drunk, he's Jack the lad, he's center of
Yeah.
attention, is this wonderful person who my niece and nephew love and play with and
Yeah.
but then when it's alone, he's like that with me. So for many years, people thought I was like a nutter or the oh, she's a
Yeah,
psycho,
same.
because
Yeah,
I used to see a Jekyll and Hyde, and when we were out and about, I'd be dealing with all this shit, and then he'd do something that would just make me be like, why are you like, obviously, just like,
yeah,
not kick
explode.
off, but
Yeah,
I'd explode it, and people would be like, oh my God, she's nuts. When actually, it
yeah,
was like the manipulation and the like
yeah.
genuine mind games that would make me be like, how can a person be like that?
Oh God,
But
a
it
hundred
would make
percent.
me look bad in public, or it would make me look bad
Yeah,
in front. Why are you being miserable? Like his family would be like, you're always miserable.
yeah.
And I'd be like, well, this happened
Mm,
yesterday, but I can't say anything about
okay.
it.
Yeah. No, I
So
totally get
it's,
that. Yeah,
again, it's that situation where because we've been in it, it's so, I can see every single point of view. And
yeah.
that's why I don't understand what the outcome is going to be, because
And
I think they
yeah,
both are just, they're both fucked. They need
yeah.
help.
And the problem is, I was saying this yesterday, it's like if it does come out that she's lying, all women, oh, not even just women, but all survivors of domestic abuse, are they then going to be looked in the same light as this person who lied? So, like, if it's coming out that all what she says is lies, that's horrific and that is not
Yeah.
okay. And it's kind of making a mockery of anyone who has been through this. Like, there
Yeah.
was a tweet went out. I cannot for the life of me remember who, but it was a podcast in America, and it was a guy. He put a tweet out being like, obviously the pictures of Amber had come out, and they're looking into if they've been photoshopped or whatever. Um, and he basically put a tweet out about it, and he had about 1,000 women, and not just women. I'm saying women. I'm so sorry, women and men survivors. It's because I don't want to say the V word, and I keep going to say the V word.
Yeah.
Um, but he had loads of survivors tweet him with thousands of pictures, and one person I saw in particular was like, "This is what I suffered. What she is doing is making a mockery out of the people who have." And it's like, do you know
Mhm.
what? If you are lying, then yeah. However, if she is telling the truth about these horrific things and all this sort of stuff, and Johnny Depp is just manipulating and lying, it then says to victims, don't come forward because you're right. That lovely persona that the world sees of your abuser is going to be believed. So
Yeah.
it's such a fuckery. I mean, the other side of it is, and me and Aidan were saying about this, it's if he is right and if she is the abuser, it's great to have a public court case where it's a man who is coming forward and not being ashamed to say, I was abused.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing, again, I feel like I'm very much sticking up for Johnny Depp in this, and I didn't think I was going to do that. I've been a bit on
I-
either side.
It is. There's one day I can watch something, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God. But I am still at a point of like, I think they both, like, what happens if everything they've both said's true?
Oh
As
God.
in the sense of
Oof.
he did that to her, but yeah, she chopped his finger off, or she threw,
Yeah.
and he sexually assaulted her, and but she shit in his bed. Like, what's the outcome? What's the outcome? Because
It's
what if they are both guilty? What happens then? Who?
yeah.
Because there shouldn't be a winner.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this. I mean, you watch the videos. The only thing I will say is, did you watch the video of the mega pint?
No.
I'm only saying mega pint. I mean, it's already in bloody Urban Dictionary since the lawyer said it. But basically, Amber, she puts her phone. And they're in the kitchen or something. She puts her phone so he can't see that she's recording. And every time he goes near it, she kind of covers it. So she's very obvious that he's going to kick off. And he is drunk beyond belief or stoned, whatever. He is not with it. And he is angry. And he gets this like pint glass and just fills it with red wine. And he starts drinking it. So the lawyer calls it the mega pint. Anyway, he is then very violent towards some cupboards and away from her. He's not in her face. He's not yelling at her. She, in fact, is being like, Johnny, what are you doing? Johnny, why are you doing this? Very like, not enticing.
Yeah.
That's not the right, I'm not saying that, but very much like she wants him to be reacting to whatever's going on. And he does not get violent towards her. He's very away from her. And he says on the stand, he's like, yes, I assaulted some cupboards. Yes, I did do that. And I did smash this. And
Yeah.
I did do this. But even the video, and I know she's trying to prove a point how violent he is, but he's nowhere near her.
He's not to her, yeah.
Yeah. And then like the
I mean,
whole,
we've all slammed a door or kicked
do
a
you know what I
door
mean?
or punched a cupboard and then
Yeah.
and then immediately regretted it.
And then been like, ow, I'm not that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's even like the whole chopping of the finger off. It was really interesting watching that because obviously he like texts his doctor, his private doctor, and was like, I've chopped my finger off. What do I do? And the lawyers are trying to use it against him and say, why did you say that you chopped your finger off? And I'm like,
Because because he's
ask,
protecting her.
yes, exactly.
Ask any
Ask any
survivor. I did
survivor.
the same.
Babe, we spoke about it on our podcast. How many times
Mm,
you said, "Oh, I walked into my PA system." We had a banister at my old house, which was perfect height for me. So I used to
yeah.
say I'd walked into that again. Like, there's
I
you
spent the
never
whole time
say,
on holiday, people laughing at me because they thought I'd
yeah,
slipped on the floor on the way to breakfast. Because
exactly,
that was the lie that I'd made up to protect him.
yeah. So when like the lawyer is basically trying to call Johnny a Depp a liar and saying like, "Why did you say to authorities you chopped your finger off?" And he's like, "Because I'm
Mm,
protecting the one I love." It's so hard, and it's such a complicated case,
yeah.
and
There's so many layers. It's not
there's so
even.
much. And also, what's kind of stressing me out is I put this in our podcast group last night. There is a beautiful video of Russell Brand doing a reaction video. Um, I'm on the fence of Russell Brand. Some things he says, I'm like, yeah, and other things I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like everyone, he's Marmite, isn't he? But he's done this reaction video, and he's literally the second it comes on Entertainment Tonight, he just stops and goes, "Why is this called entertainment? What are we doing as a public? What are we doing watching this and watching someone's pain, whether or not they're lying or not? What they are saying is triggering words and horrific stuff." And even I went on our Instagram to be like, guys, if you are following the case, give yourself a break. We
Hmm.
can, luckily this isn't happening to us personally, we can turn it off and we
That's
can
so
walk
true.
away. And I
Yeah.
think we need to remember this is real life. This isn't a court case drama with Johnny Depp playing the man and Amber Heard playing the woman. This is
Yeah.
real, and
That's so true.
it's quite
And I
scary.
actually said this yesterday on the way to rehearsals,
Yeah.
because I was filling someone in who doesn't really follow it, but I was like, well, let me tell you this.
I'm going in.
Yeah, and I was saying like, I've lost my train of thought. What did you just say? Sorry, that drilling in the background is
Oh,
very
I
much
can't even hear
putting me
it.
off. Can you not? It's
Um,
very loud.
I was saying about the lying of like saying, oh, I was saying about Entertainment Tonight. It's not entertainment. We're all watching it. We're all being
Oh
triggered
yeah,
by it.
sorry. So obviously we're sat watching people's
Yeah.
worst traits come out. And
Yeah.
I was like, it must be, everything aside, it must be the most mortifying thing
Yeah.
for like your worst
100%.
moments as a human, where you've been
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I shouldn't, like you with that, when you just said about Aiden sending those text messages
Yeah.
and Johnny Depp, the worst parts of your soul that came out because
Yeah.
of a situation,
Yeah.
and the entire fucking world's watching it.
And that's the thing, like those
Every
messages
single person in the world
is
who
on
has
board. Yeah.
something about this, like who has a fucking laptop
Yeah.
or a computer, who has the internet, knows exactly what's
Is
going
aware.
on.
And it's
And
just those messages between him and Paul Bettany. Obviously, they are not okay, and we are both
no,
disgusted by them.
yeah,
But at the same time, they were
the
sent in
voice notes as well
trust.
of each other, like
Oh, God,
fucking hell.
horrific. But they were sent in trust to a
Mm,
friend. Like, it's, babe, look back at our conversations. Like, that's kind of, obviously, we've never said anything like that, guys,
no,
for like full
oh God,
disclosure.
no.
But there have been times when I've had a really shit day or something's happened with things, and I'm like,
I'm
ah!
smiling because I know what you're on about.
Yeah,
What I'm
do
not
you know
going to
what I mean?
say.
And you just go, I'm sick of this. And
Yeah,
like, even stuff
yeah, but
like,
the thing is, like, I've seen the worst of you, you've seen the worst of me.
yeah, because we're
And
bezies. That's what we
I
do.
don't think you're an abuser, or I don't think that you're an
No,
evil, violent person.
thank you. I'm
But that's
not.
where you're supposed to say you either. But anyway,
I
I
see the
think you're not.
documentaries you watch.
Listen, it doesn't mean I'm in training. It just means I could spot a serial killer if I see you, I could save your life. Do you
This
know
is
what I
very
mean?
true. This is,
See?
but
Thank you.
actually, you saying that, do you remember? I sent you, or you sent me, I cannot remember, a moon pig card, and it had in it about hiding the
I
body. and all sorts of, and then you messaged me. It was my birthday because you sent me sweets and this card, and then
Yeah,
you messaged me and you're like, "Oh my god, what I've written in your card. If anyone
yeah,
saw that."
that's so true.
And
That
I
is
was
so
pissing
true.
myself laughing because I was like, this is hilarious.
What did I write in it now? I know what you're on about, but I was like,
Can't remember for life of me,
that
but it
friend
was,
who you could call if you needed to hide, like,
yeah. And you put like, or maybe I have, or like, and it was very like, and you freaked out and you said to me, "Oh my god, what if anyone else sees this?" Da, 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 da.
because somebody's made that
Because
card. I
someone's
don't
made
know
it.
what in my brain thought that nobody would see that but me and the moon pig,
it
like
the
online.
fairy of
Yeah,
Moonpig.
online fairy that makes them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
But
yeah, that's true.
that's what I mean. It's very, you can't, those sort of things. I'm a bit like, they should really be in the court case because they were not directly at
Yeah,
Amber. They were not a threat. They were venting through a friend. And at the end of the day, if she has done what he is saying she's done, and he is on so many drugs and this alcohol problem, then he is at the point of absolute explosion. Like,
yeah.
it's just terrifying. But we need to remember that when, like you said, we're not going to know the truth.
It does worry me, but also the other thing that I forgot to mention, and I was
Mm.
telling you this the other day, that everything,
Yes.
I feel like there's some huge like companies like Prime, Amazon Prime, and
Oh yeah.
Netflix and things like that. That to me are kind of secretly supporting him without saying it, because
Oh
I don't know if
yeah.
you've noticed,
Yeah.
but I said to you when I put my TV on the other day, and I went to put Prime on, and I haven't watched a Johnny Depp film for years. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
I love him in his films. I think he's one of the most talented people on this planet.
Yeah.
How he transforms himself is unreal. But I genuinely haven't watched a Johnny Depp film since like Black Mass was out, maybe, which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I put my TV on, so it's not the algorithm, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I put my TV on, and it was like, we think you might like. And the first thing that came up was a Johnny Depp film. And you know the bits where you can like scroll across.
Yeah.
And in the entirety of me scrolling across, there might have been 2 pages.
This
There was
Johnny
like
Depp.
5 Johnny Depp films.
Yeah, I noticed on Netflix
Oh,
last night. Yeah.
did you? And I'm
Yeah.
like, is anyone else noticing this? Because to me, that's
Yeah.
their way of supporting him. They've already made their mind up.
Yeah. I
But I'm just like,
literally, we were
that's
laying in
some of the
bed.
films I'd not even ever heard of.
Yeah, that's literally, we were laying in bed last night. We're like, what do we watch? Put Netflix on, and it was like I don't know if you've heard the film Blow, which is a Johnny Depp film, but it's
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah, that's
years and
on
years
mine at the
ago.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, I've not watched anything that would make me, why that? And like,
Yeah.
I mean, most recently, all I've been watching is Marvel. So I was actually like, why has that come up as like a thing? And then I was saying to Aidan about what you'd said, and I was like, oh my God, yeah.
Mm. It's there. You'll start to notice it.
It's great.
And it's the same. So Netflix and Prime, and I could not believe it. I was just like,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp. And like I
Yeah.
said, films I didn't even know he was in from like years
Yeah.
ago. And
Yeah.
then underneath it, it was like rent or buy, and it was all the
20
Pirates of the
quid.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
So they put them back on, and I'm just like, there were no Amber Heard films on there, so we know where you're at.
Well, yeah. And the media is very much Johnny Depp is,
This is what I mean.
yeah.
Everybody's decided.
And that's the horrific thing. It's like being on a public forum, being celebrities, being in this world is very hard because everyone's got an opinion about you and you've never met them. I've never met Johnny Depp in my life. I've never met Amber
Yeah.
Heard. And yet here I am talking a lot. My week has been filled with this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
We've sent many voice notes this week
my
about
God.
this.
Literally the other day, I nearly took a picture of it because it was just like 5-minute voice notes after 5-minute voice notes of us two. Just like, I was listening double time because I was just like, I've got to get through this. Of us just discussing this situation. And like you
Yeah.
said, 1 minute, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Depp, that, yeah, I agree with you. Actually, no, there's no way she lied about that. There's no way she came up with what happened and just out of her head and is subconsciously okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
or maybe that's just me looking in the good of people and hoping that.
No, I honestly
People
think there's
wouldn't.
aspects of both that
Yeah.
that are true, but I
Yeah.
also think things may have been exaggerated a little bit.
And
But
also,
I
it was
think,
years ago now. Like,
yeah, like
do you
having
know what?
text messages up from 2013. I'm not the same person I was in 2013.
I mean,
I'd be
also, like,
why?
you know, when they're asking people, like, what did you, I was watching when they're cross-examining him about the festival or whatever it was, where he
Oh, when
would,
she went to Coachella the day after.
possibly,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, did you say this? Da, 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 da. And he's like, no. And they're like, here is proof that you said it. And he's like, okay, then I did say it. And I'm like, I couldn't tell you what I said yesterday, let alone 6 years ago. Like, the amount of times, and like, you know, I do this. If with my mum, I go, Mum, I told you this. And she's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, did I? No, I
But
didn't. Did I?
don't they get, because everything has to go into evidence and everything
Yeah.
has to be approved. They can't just like whack a piece of paper out that
Oh,
says.
that's true. Yeah.
So I think they're made aware to some point of the documents that are going to be processed and that are going to be presented in front of you while you're there.
Yeah.
Because if not, somebody could ask me something from 2011 and I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah. And also, people change. Like, the
Yeah.
opinions I would have had 10 years ago, I definitely don't have now.
Oh, I didn't have a Scooby Doo about anything. When I
Yeah.
was, when it was 2013, I probably thought I knew everything, but actually knew nothing because I
Yeah.
was in my early 20s and thought, I mean, who in the early 20s doesn't think,
No, I still
they
ate
know
chicken.
everything?
Like, literally, like, do you know what
Oh,
I mean? 2013, I still ate Nando's.
and I smoked menthols.
Do you know what I mean?
And on that note,
What? On that note, we are going to keep coming back to this because we're going to release these on our YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will come back to this. Let us know your thoughts.
yeah,
What are you guys feeling? What what I don't want to say what side you're on because it's not down to us. We do not get to pick sides. But I want to
and like
know.
you said, it's not for entertainment, but it's just such
No,
a, it's everywhere. It's
you can't
unavoidable.
escape it. You really
And
can't.
as survivors of it ourselves, like
Yeah,
it's tough, like you said, to watch every day, but
yeah,
also it's really important to talk about it. But
yeah.
I think they both need help for real.
I totally agree. And before we go, just want to quick, because we haven't got the disclaimers and stuff on our YouTube. But if you are being triggered or affected by this court case, please turn it off. Walk away from it. It's not happening to us. It is, or to you, the royal you. It's not. This is something that we can control. We can turn it off. So please just check in with your own mental health, because that's what's most important. So.
Yeah, and there are helplines as well at Women's Aid
Yes.
or at idas.org.uk. So
yes,
anything like that, we will link below.
yeah.
Give us a shout as well. We have an email address. It's takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to come on and join us on our YouTube channel,
Stop it.
a little three-way.
Oh. On that note, I'm going to get coffee because I'm so tired.
Three-way
Anyway.
and menthols. Let's go. I'm down.
That's a new album title right there.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right. Peace out, guys. Love you all.
Love you.